Welcome. This is a blurry video, which hopefully should. There we go. So this is all about half-lives, and it's not just a video game. So first of all, what I would like you to do, please subscribe to my station. Every playlist is a topic we'll be covering in chemistry. Also, make sure to download the guided notes that you will be responsible for keeping track of. So first of all, what is half-life? Well, first of all, we're assuming that we have a radioactive isotope. It's the time it takes for half of a unstable nuclear isotope to decay. And when I mean the time, it's a group of these isotopes. So it's not half of the atom, but it's an amount. It's a statistical amount. So as an example, and that's the best way to explain it, there's the isotope or the nuclide carbon-14. If I have a handful of carbon-14, our bodies are about 10% carbon-14 while we're alive. As soon as we die, we don't take in any more carbon-14. If I have a gram of it in my body, let's say, if somebody comes back in 5,700 years, only half of that gram will be there, and the other half will have decayed through a transmutation reaction into something else. Some half-lives are much shorter. Technetium-99, it's an isotope of technetium, a nuclide of technetium. It's only 6 hours. It's used a lot in the medical field. So if I have a gram of technetium, I come back in 6 hours, half of those atoms of the 99 atoms decayed. Half of them are still technetium-99. In the next 6 hours, that half has gone into something else, and so on, and this occurs over a period of times. We know that half of the sample will decay. We just don't know which half, which is what drives scientists crazy. So that essentially is what it means. Now, what we want to do is come up with a mathematical model. And so to do this, typically you imagine if we have 1 gram as a starting sample, and it undergoes 1 half-life, by the time we're done, we have half of a gram, and that means it underwent 1 half-life. Okay. Well, if we have that half a gram, right, and it undergoes a second half-life, like the technetium, the next 6 hours, you take that half, the 0.5 grams, you cut that in half. So this part right here becomes this over here, and it goes another half-life, and then we get the ending sample again, so it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So how do we put this into an equation? Well, essentially, whatever we start with, and again, this can just keep going, and this is what it would be after 2 half-lives and 3 half-lives and so on. So it would be better to put this in an equation that we can kind of make sense of, okay? And the equation that makes sense of it seems to be much easier, is this right here. And what we have, whatever starting amount we have, okay, it's 1/2 times to the x power, and the x power is the number of half-lives it undergoes. It is not the time of the half-life. And I'll explain that in a second. And then there's an ending sample. So for instance, my daughter went to the hospital. She was having stomach issues, and they gave her technetium-99 in some eggs and bacon, okay? And it was radioactive. And every 4 hours, she had to go back and get an x-ray. So what happens? So the question is, when we look here, if we start with 1 gram of technetium-99, how much is left after 24 hours? And what's important is this right here. 1 half-life of technetium is 6 hours. So if I go for 24 hours, how many half-lives is that? Well, the number of half-lives then is actually 24 divided by 6. That gives me 4 half-lives. That's what that x is. It's not 24 hours. It's the number of half-lives, okay? And so typically, to be able to solve for this, we can then say, okay, well, let's put it in the equation and find out. So if we have 1 gram, okay, and then that's going to get cut in half essentially 4 times. And so if I do that and I play that out, what I should have left with is 0.625 grams of technetium-99. Now, who cares? Well, in the case of my daughter, what they find is after about 10 half-lives overall, you're pretty much it's no longer an issue because it keeps on getting cut in half each time. So she was in a sense radioactive just for a couple of days, and then she was fine, and they could properly diagnose whatever was going on in her stomach. This is the basic equation of half-life. We start with amount. Half of that amount decays, half of it doesn't. The time it takes is basically called the half-life. Okay. Now, typically in hospitals, it's very rare that we're given anything like this. We either need to find, given the start and the end amount, the number of half-lives, or we're given the end and we want to work backwards to find out what we started with. Then the math becomes a little bit more complicated. So let's say, what happens if we have to work backwards? What if I need 0.0625 grams of technetium-99 and I only start with 1 gram? What is the time that I have to plan here? Because timing is everything. This is why if you have a doctor's appointment with something like this, you have to show up on time. Okay, so let's do some math here. So how many half-lives would that be if we didn't know it was 4? How could we figure that out? And it's rarely that it's always whole numbers. I'm just going to do this to show you how it works. So imagine we have this equation, right? We have a starting material. We know it's 1/2 to the x power, and that x power is the number of half-lives, and this is E, or ending material. So I've tried to say S is starting amount, X is the number of half-lives, E is the ending amount. Okay, so that's what we got going on. So if we take a look at this now, how do I just solve for X? That gets a little tricky, but we use this thing called logs. And if you've never had logs before, don't worry. It's a matter of pushing a button on your calculator. Don't freak out. That's all it involves. So let's take a look here. So to use logs, I rearranged the equation. Logs helps me to isolate the exponent. I've just said I'm going to divide both sides by the starting material to get 1/2 x, the ending amount over the starting amount. If I do this, I take the log of both sides. And when you do that, instead of putting 1/2, I just wrote 0.5. And so x drops in front of the log of 0.5. Okay, and that's the nice thing about this log is it's exponents, and we can rearrange it. But let's say I now solve the problem for it. Let's say I have a starting and ending amount, and I want to figure out how many half-lives that is. Well, typically, you just put in the numbers. X times the log of 0.5 equals the log of 0.0625 over 1. Grams and grams cancel, so we don't have to worry about units. So we will get the number of half-lives, which if we solve this problem, it's negative 0.3, negative 1.2, which there are 4 half-lives. If it's 24 hours and there's 4 half-lives, guess what? Each half-life counts for 6 hours. Now, that's great. Many times, what happens is you're given the ending amount, the half-life, and you got to find the starting amount, right? Well, we can slightly rearrange the equation to do this. So there you go, and I hope this helps. So in this equation, again, the half-life, log times 0.5 equals the log of the ending amount minus the log of the starting amount. So that means if we have x, let's say we have the ending amount, we can solve for the starting amount. You can solve for that as well. So we can also talk about that, and to solve for that, we can do like inverse logs. Hope that helps. If you have any other questions, don't be afraid to stop by.